to the City of Miami Commission meeting for February 12, 2026. We will be starting shortly with a presentation. I am joined today by my colleagues, Commissioner Damian Pardo, Commissioner Ralph Rosado, Commissioner Rolando Escalona, as well as our mayor. Let's start with our presentation. Our presentation today is by Commissioner Rosado and Commissioner Escalona, who he was here just a second ago. Okay. Madam Mayor, would you like to say good morning to?
Good morning, everyone. I hear we have some Kiwanis in the house. Oh, very excited about this. Thank you, Commissioner Rosado and Commissioner Escalona, for honoring them. I really appreciate it.
I also see one of our county colleagues in the audience, Commissioner Raquel Regalado. Welcome. Thank you for being here. He's coming. Okay, here he comes. You know, I'm looking this way because I think his office is that way. Lo siento, lo siento. I didn't realize you walked off.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. So today we want to recognize an organization that is very special to the community. They do quite a bit of work in District 3 and District 4 in particular, but really their efforts are citywide. Last month, my office had the honor of being able to organize, with help from a number of individuals throughout the city, the Three Kings Parade, which is a tradition that's gone on for almost 55 years. And every single year, we've been very fortunate to have the assistance of the Kiwanis of Little Havana. They also organize what is perhaps Miami's signature annual event that's been going on for over 50 years, which is the Carnival on Calle Ocho. And so we are so deeply grateful for what you've done to help us organize events. We are incredibly grateful, even more so, for what you do for children in helping them get back to school. You pay for summer camps. You help senior citizens. I think there's just about nobody in the community that you haven't helped at some point, or more importantly, for over 5 decades. This is their 50th anniversary, and so we want to honor you with this proclamation, and I'm happy to have my colleagues speak, because I know that you all are so essential to Little Havana, and my District 3 colleague, Commissioner Escalona, wanted to say some words as well. But thank you all.
Good morning. So first of all, we want you to know that the community, our community, appreciates everything that you do for us. I want to encourage you to continue doing what you have been doing for many years, and just thank you for all the hard work that you put every day. Thank you.
Congratulations. 50 years is such a milestone, and to be doing the things that you do is amazing, and thank you for what you do for our city.
Tom, before we take the pictures, Thomas Falcone is their president this year. Tom, would you like to say some words?
I just want to thank the city for, many years of a partnership. As we celebrate our 50th year, we're very grateful to the partnership that we have with the City of Miami and the City of Miami Parking Authority. And this will be our 48th year of Calle Ocho. And 48 years ago, how Calle Ocho began, it began as Open House 8. And I'll bring our founding member to give a little story about Open House 8, Leslie Panting.
I'm going to be like Lincoln at the Gettysburg Address, very brief. It's super to be here. The City of Miami was the first ones that helped us when Maurice Ferrer was the mayor. The officials here said, you guys cannot do that, you cannot afford that, you cannot do Calle Ocho, blah, blah, blah. And Maurice helped us, and here we are 50 years later. Thank you to the city for having us today.
Thank you. Got it. Thank you.
And at this time, we are going to have Pastor Covington of Gamble Memorial Church of Christ lead us in prayer.
Oh, yeah. You sure? You sure? Because I just had this. It's going to be short. First of all, I'd like to say good morning, everyone. We actually let's take a moment of silence for Mrs. Thelma Gibson. Thank you for the Lord's Day. I'm not going to be before you long. I'd like to read a scripture, then we're going to go ahead and pray. Psalms 90:17 says, "And let the beauty of our Lord, our God, be upon us, and establish thou the works of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands, establish thou it." And our prayer would be, loving and wise God, we thank you for the opportunity to stand before you today in the assembly. God, we ask you that you would grant wisdom and understanding. We also ask that you would grant solidarity amongst the commission members, that they will have the best interest of the community in hand, that they would join together as they make decisions, that the decisions that they make will be for the benefit of everybody. We ask you that you would grant them grace and peace and understanding, because we know the load and the toil is heavy. You have set them for a time like this, and we pray that you continue to keep them lifted up. We also pray that you keep them in your loving arms as they carry out the mission that has been designed for the city of Miami. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Commissioner, I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I never really do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. City Attorney, I believe you have a statement.
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to the City of Miami Commission meeting. Detailed information about the processes, order of business, rules of procedure, and scheduling or rescheduling of City Commission meetings can be found in Chapter 2, Article 2 of the City Code, a copy of which is available online at www.municode.com. Any person who is a lobbyist pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 6 of the City Code must register with the City Clerk and comply with related city requirements for lobbyists before appearing before the City Commission. A person may not lobby a city official, board member, or staff member until registered. A copy of the code section about lobbyists is available at the City Clerk's office or online at www.municode.com. Any person making a presentation, formal request, or petition to the City Commission concerning real property must make the disclosures required by the City Code in writing. A copy of the City Code section is available at the Office of City Clerk or online at www.municode.com. City of Miami requires that anyone requesting action by the City Commission must disclose, before the hearing, any consideration provided or committed to anyone for agreement to support or withhold objection to the requested action pursuant to City Code Section 2-8. Any documents offered to the City Commission that have not been provided 7 days before the meeting as part of the agenda materials will be entered into the record at the City Commission's discretion. In accordance with Section 2-33F and G of the City Code, the agenda and the materials for each item on the agenda is available during business hours at the City Clerk's office and online 24 hours a day at www.miamigov.com. The meeting of the Miami City Commission is a limited public forum. Any person may be heard by the City Commission through the chair for not more than 2 minutes on any proposition before the City Commission unless modified by the chair. Public comment will begin at approximately 9:20 a.m. and remain open until public comment is closed by the chairperson. Any person making offensive remarks who has become unruly in the City Commission chambers will be barred from further attending City Commission meetings and may be subject to arrest. No clapping, applauding, heckling, or verbal outbursts in support or opposition to a speaker or his or her remarks shall be permitted. No signs or placards shall be allowed in the City Commission chambers. Persons exiting the Commission chambers shall do so quietly. Members of the public wishing to address the body may do so by submitting written comments via the online comment form. Please visit www.miamigov.com/meeting instructions for detailed instructions on how to provide public comment using the online public comment form. The comments submitted through the comment form have been and will be distributed to the elected officials, their staff, and city administration throughout the day so that the elected officials may consider the comments prior to taking any action. Additionally, the online comment form will remain open during the meeting to accept comments and distribute to the elected officials, their staff, and the city administration up until the chairperson closes public comment. Public comment may also be provided live at City Hall here at 3500 Pan American Drive, Miami, Florida, subject to any and all city rules as they may be amended. If the proposition is being continued or rescheduled, the opportunity to be heard may be at such later date before the City Commission takes action on such proposition. When addressing the City Commission, the member of the public must first state their name, their address, and what item will be spoken about. Any person with a disability requiring assistance, auxiliary aids, and services for this meeting may notify the city clerk. The city has provided different public comment methods to indicate, among other things, the public support, opposition, or neutrality on the items and topics to be discussed at the City Commission meeting, in compliance with Section 286.0114 4C Florida statutes. The public has been given an opportunity to provide public comment during the meeting within reasonable proximity and time before the meeting. Please note, commissioners have generally been briefed by city staff and city attorney's office on items on the agenda today. Anyone wishing a verbatim record of an item considered at this meeting may request it at the Office of Communications or view it online at www.miamigov.com. For planning and zoning items, PZ items shall proceed according to Section 7.1.4 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance. Parties for any PZ items, including any applicant, appellant, appellee, city staff, and any person recognized by the decision-making body as a qualified intervener, as well as the applicant's representatives and any experts testifying on behalf of the applicant, appellant, or appellee may be physically present at City Hall to be sworn in by oath or affirmation by the city clerk. The members of the City Commission shall disclose any ex parte communications to remove the presumption of prejudice pursuant to Florida Statute 286.0115 and Section 7.1.4.5 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance. The order of presentation shall be as set forth in Miami 21 and in the City Code. Staff will briefly present each item to be heard. The applicant will present its application or request to the City Commission. If the applicant agrees with the staff recommendation, the City Commission may proceed to its deliberation and decision. The applicant may also waive the right to an evidentiary hearing on the record. For appeals, the appellant will present its appeal to the City Commission, followed by the appellee. Staff will be allowed to make any recommendation they may have. Please silence all cell phones and other noise-making devices. This meeting can be viewed live on Miami TV, the city's Facebook page, the city's Twitter page, the city's YouTube channel, and Comcast Channel 77. The broadcast will also have closed captioning. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Mr. City Clerk? Mrs. Clerk?
Good morning, Chair. Thank you. The procedures for individuals who will be providing testimony to be sworn in for planning and zoning items and any quasi-judicial items on today's City Commission agenda will be as follows. The members of City staff or any other individuals required to be sworn in who are currently present at City Hall will be sworn in by me, the Assistant City Clerk, immediately after I finish explaining these procedures. Those individuals who are appearing remotely may be sworn in now or at any time prior to the individual providing testimony for planning and zoning items and or quasi-judicial items. Commissioners, are you comfortable with all the notice provision sets forms and these uniform rules of procedures we have established for this meeting?
Yes, thank you.
Madam Chair, can I proceed with administering the oath?
Please.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If anyone will be speaking on today's planning and zoning items, that's PZ 1, 2, and 3, may I have you stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give at this meeting today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney? I'm sorry, Mr. City Manager.
Good morning, Chairwoman.
Today?
I'm doing great. Good morning, Chairwoman, Madam Mayor, Commissioners, Clerk, Attorney. At this time, the administration would like to defer or withdraw the following items. RE1 to be indefinitely deferred. FR5 to be deferred to February 26, and DI2 to be withdrawn.
Thank you. I'm going to ask my colleagues now if they have any items that they would like to withdraw or defer.
No.
Commissioner Cabela?
No.
No.
Okay. May I have a motion to set the agenda?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Mr.
Chair,
Clerk?
my apologies. Just for the record, I have some co-sponsor requests. Mayor Higgins will be co-sponsoring RE12, RE14, SR1, and SR2. Chair King will be co-sponsoring RE4 and RE5. Commissioner Escalona will be co-sponsoring RE4 and RE5. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I also had co-sponsor requests for RE10, RE12, and RE14.
Thank you. Mr. City Clerk, did you get that? At this time, I'm going to open the floor for public comment. Those who wish to speak on behalf of any of the items that are currently on our agenda, please step forward 5 at a time. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. My name is Don Worth. I'm a resident at 1390 Ocean Drive in Miami Beach, and I'm here to support restoration of the Marine Stadium. The stadium is not a nostalgia project. The feasibility study done for the city demonstrated that it should be in the top tier of all performing arts venues nationwide. And when the city did do an RFP for an operator, the 2 best operators in the country responded because they see opportunity. Why restore it? First, the stadium will provide a bold new attraction for our tourism-based economy. As Bill Talbert, former CEO of GMCVB, said, 2 words, no competition. The stadium is often compared to Red Rocks Amphitheater in Denver. Red Rocks is the largest tourist attraction in the state and generates $20 million annually in tax revenue for the city. Second, the stadium will provide a valuable community benefit. Miami's greatest physical asset is the water, but most of the residents who live in your districts can't afford those $1 million condos. At the stadium, everyone is a VIP with a water view seat. We must make sure it's accessible to the community. One idea, keep it open as a park during selected hours so families can enjoy those spectacular views. I imagine you're concerned about cost. There are significant non-city funds available to help pay for it. The proposed study is important so that we can update both the construction costs and the sources of funding. Having a professional operator like Oakview on board changes the game. Finally, please understand the opportunity we have here. I've taken some of the most high-profile people in the entertainment industry into this building, and to a person, when they see it, they are stunned and don't understand why it just sits here. Many of us have put 18 years of blood, sweat, and tears into this project. This commission can be the one to finally get the ball rolling. This is a legacy project for you. Please vote yes. And if you do, we plan to return to you with a proposal that you simply can't refuse. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Elvis Cruz, 631 Northeast 57th Street. Regarding PZ2, amendments to the soccer stadium agreements. In 2019, the voters were promised 11 soccer fields. In 2019, after the election, this press release confirmed a public park with 11 soccer fields, and the picture showed the complex, again with 11 soccer fields. But in 2022, things got suspicious when the commission approved this agreement where the number of soccer fields was left blank, yet no one mentioned that during the hearing. In 2023, the development agreement was officially recorded with the county clerk. This document is attached to today's agenda. Yet this officially recorded agreement before you today is not signed by any parties. Is this even legally valid? The 2023 original, which they are striking out in red, does not say how many soccer fields will be built. But in today's amendment, they want you to approve only 6 soccer fields, not 11. And it would only be free to City of Miami kids 16 and under, which would exclude high school soccer teams. They originally agreed to zoysia grass, which is best for soccer fields, and 2 feet of soil. But now they want to use cheaper, less desirable grass with only 1 foot of soil. Please say no to this bait and switch. Keep the 11 soccer fields promised to the voters, not 6. Make it free for kids 18 and under to benefit high school teams. Keep the zoysia grass. Do not allow a less desirable species. Keep 2 feet of topsoil if that is better for the public. They are already getting a super sweetheart deal. And please restore Miami Marine Stadium. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Rosa Lowinger, 900 Bay Drive, Miami Beach, Florida. I am a Cuban American who grew up in Miami Beach and works in historic preservation both here and around the world. And I'm here today to argue on behalf of the Miami Marine Stadium's preservation. For many of us in the Cuban community, the stadium is far more than a building. It is a memoria, orgullo, and continuidad, the personal part of our legacy that embodies the bold modernism that flourished in 1950s Havana, which was a culture of innovation and civic ambition. When that spirit could no longer flourish on the island, it came here to Miami, where we were given a home and opportunity. The stadium is proof of that exchange and what happened here. It also happens to be a work of world-class modernist architecture that's been honored by the prestigious Getty Foundation with a Keeping It Modern grant that allowed us to ascertain that the graffiti can be safely removed and the concrete can be repaired. With that grant, the Getty placed the stadium in the same company of landmarks like the Sydney Opera House, the Eames House of Los Angeles, and the Bauhaus architecture of Tel Aviv. Imagine for a moment if the once neglected and dilapidated Art Deco buildings of Miami Beach had been demolished when they were worn and faded. Had that happened, I can assure you there would be no Art Basel Miami Beach. There would be no global recognition of our city as an arts and design capital. Architectural identity is the foundation of a cultural economy, and we have that in the stadium. So I urge you, please don't think of this as nostalgia. This is foresight. The stadium is world-class, it's known throughout the world, and it's an opportunity to honor the immigrant energy that built this city, preserving our excellence and recognizing once and for all the possibilities afforded by what Los Cubanos Americanos achieved in this city we call home. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Regalado, would you like to get up? Do you have a commission meeting to go to or something? If you don't mind, please give professional courtesy.
I'm happy to wait. I don't have a problem. I don't like jumping in front of them, but I'm happy to wait and I'll take your questions. So happy to do it. No worries.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Fine.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Elisa Margulies. I live at 3333 Rice Street in Center Grove. I'm here about RE4 and 5 and PZ2. They say you always remember your first. My first was Jimmy Buffett. My last was Basha, by the way. I remember that too. In a world of Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and disappearing messages, we need places where long-term memories can be created. For those of us fortunate enough to have attended a concert at the Miami Marine Stadium, we remember the perfect combination of sunsets, music, and water. It didn't matter if you sat in the bleachers, boat, or float. The acoustics and views were magical. Sadly, this precious jewel has been defaced and neglected, just another forgotten relic. But the city has a rare opportunity to correct an admitted mistake. An entire generation was unable to experience what this unique venue offered. It's imperative that the stadium is restored in a way that pays homage to its past, even while updating it for the future. Hopefully, our new city manager and our commissioners will take their role as guardians seriously. We need you to start holding developers to their promises. And you can start with Freedom Park. The previous city manager was replaced for a reason, lots of reasons. Please don't allow his way of doing business to be your legacy. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jamila Stevens. I reside at 3181 Hibiscus Street. We're here today in support of our FR2, and we're going to read a resolution so it's included in the record. The Coconut Grove Village West Homeowners and Tenants Association has resolved to name the new aquatic facility at Elizabeth Vieri Park Vernica Stewart Silva Aquatic Facility in honor of Vernica Stewart Silva, a local community leader and advocate. Whereas Vernica Stewart Silva was born in Miami, Florida, to William Samuel Stewart and Ellen Ingram Stewart, who were among the earliest settlers in Coconut Grove who migrated from the Bahamas. Whereas, after graduating from Booker T. Washington High School in Miami and earning a Bachelor of Science degree in Health and Physical Education from Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Ms. Silva began a 40-plus year career in the Miami-Dade County Public School System, holding positions of physical education teacher, guidance counselor, and lastly, assistant principal at Coral Gables Senior High School, from where she is retired in 1986. She embarked on and completed graduate and postgraduate pursuits at Atlanta University, New York University, and Barry University, while working full-time raising her daughter and caring for her parents. Whereas, she was a lifelong member of the historic Christ Episcopal Church in Coconut Grove, served in various capacities, and in 1978 was licensed by the Episcopal Diocese of Southeast Florida as a lay minister, becoming one of the first females in the diocese to receive that distinction. Whereas, Ms. Silva worked closely with the Father Theodore R. Gibson, Ms. Elizabeth Vierick, and other concerned residents in the 1950s and 1960s in their slum clearance effort in Coconut Grove. An outgrowth of that project was the establishment of a City of Miami-owned and operated park and pool and named in honor of Elizabeth Vierick for the neighborhood families to enjoy. Whereas she was recognized over the years for many achievements from civic, social, and religious organizations and educational institutions at local, state, and national levels. Whereas Ms. Silva's lasting efforts on the lives of those individuals in her realm, family, neighbors, colleagues, sorors, students. It's a clear testament of why naming the aquatic facility in her honor and in the Coconut Grove neighborhood where she spent her lifetime is so deserving. Now be it hereby resolved that we, the Executive Board, and members of the Coconut Grove Village West Homeowners and Tenants Association, so referred to as HODA, extend our resounding support of District 2 Commissioner Damian Pardo's proposal to name the new aquatic facility at Elizabeth Vierick Park as the Vernica Stewart Silva Aquatic Facility. Signed this 10th day of February, 2026.
Thank you.
And Chair, my apologies. If we could have the speaker's name again?
May we have your name again?
I'm Jamila Stevens, and I would like to submit this into the record.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Good morning.
Good morning. Bruce Matheson, 3191 Grand Avenue, Miami, Florida. Our Marine Stadium is unique in all the world and part of Miami's skyline. Built for all our citizens and visitors to enjoy. Boats, music, theater, prayer, etc. It is waiting to be reintroduced to the world. The only one in the world. Please don't let us down. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Stuart Blumberg, 7532 Cutlass Avenue, North Bay Village, Florida. I have been involved in my career in many iconic venues. Performing Arts Center, Convention Center Hotel, etc., etc. This is the last one on my bucket list. This is the one I want to see, which is closest to my heart, which is the Miami Marine Stadium. Having been a member of the audience back in those days, and I have been around a long time, I watched Richard Nixon become nominated on the floating stage at the Marine Stadium. I watched Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, Jimmy Buffett. It's such an iconic venue. It means Miami. It says Miami. It fits with the Vizcaya. It fits with the Tower Theater. It fits with the Coconut Grove Playhouse. It is tradition. It is history in this community. I was fortunate enough to sit on the evaluation committee to pick a company to manage this facility when it opens. I was unanimously in my favor of the Oakview Group, their significant contribution, their incredible commitment to making this project work was unbelievable, even to the extent that when and if this is voted for, they have people locally on the ground ready to hit the ground running. I was involved in the AMS study, the same company that did the Performing Arts Center. This is a venue for the future of Miami. It is Red Rock on the water. There'll be nothing like it, and it'll be part of the history of this wonderful city. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Annie Lord. I'm the Executive Director at Miami Homes for All, 3250 Southwest 3rd Avenue in Miami. And thank you so much, Madam Chair and Madam Mayor. I'm here to speak about RE18, which is the consideration of proposals to redevelop the GSA site, a 19-acre site in Allapattah. And I applaud the movement forward of development of this site. This is a fantastic opportunity to help address the needs of our communities, including the terrible deficit of affordable housing we have in the city of Miami. Miami Homes for All is also part of a coalition called the Public Land for Public Good Coalition. And I know that I and some of my peers have had a chance to speak with many of the commissioners and with the mayor's team about this, but this site has long been slated for redevelopment. And we hope, in 2019 actually, I don't know if I had a chance to tell everybody here, but we conducted, Miami Homes for All with our partners in Public Land for Public Good, conducted a community engagement, a really in-depth community engagement process that yielded 3 insights from residents and business owners. They wanted community services, green space, and affordable housing. And so what we are hoping that you all will do is make sure that whatever comes of this site, one of the last great opportunities for development of affordable housing and other services in Miami, will align with the community. We generally propose and support a competitive city-driven process, an RFP process that makes it clear to community members and developers alike what is expected and what is desired. But we know we're not anti-development. We want to see this develop, but we want to see it have something for everybody, and it is big enough to have something for everybody. And just to be one more point of specificity, the community wanted to see a really reasonable thing. 20% of all the units developed on site, affordable between 60 and 100% of the area median income, which is well pegged to kind of the upper end of the range of income in the neighborhood. So we are happy to meet with you at any time. Thank you so much for your consideration, and good luck as you redevelop the site.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Gina Guilford, 7625 Southwest 50th Avenue, Miami. I am here today representing the Villagers. The Villagers is the oldest historic preservation group in Miami, and we are entirely run by volunteers. The Villagers is requesting your support of the restoration and operation of Miami Marine Stadium. As a personal note, I was born and raised in Miami, and I grew up with Miami Marine Stadium as part of my childhood. I watched my sisters water ski there with the Miami Ski Club. My parents attended one of the iconic Jimmy Buffett concerts, and I also listened to Ray Charles sing Georgia from a boat on Biscayne Bay. There is no other place like Miami Marine Stadium in our world or in our country. It is our Red Rocks. After 33 years, we applaud the City of Miami's efforts to restore this famous and architecturally significant symbol of our city. The Miami Marine Stadium has been named a national treasure by the National Trust for Historic Preservation, is on the watch list of World Monuments Fund, has been designated historic by the City of Miami, and is on the National Register of Historic Places. This one-of-a-kind masterpiece, designed by Cuban-born architect Eladio Candela, represents the best of Miami, and we look forward to bringing it back to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Misha Izradi. I live at 1717 Northview Drive, Miami Beach, Florida, 33140. Today we stand at an important moment as we take the next step towards restoring one of Miami's great landmarks, the Miami Marine Stadium. Built in 1962, the stadium had its heyday for 30 years until it was shuttered after Andrew hit in 1992, although the stadium itself was not damaged. In 2008, a dedicated restoration movement began. After 18 years of hard work, they're finally ready to move forward. I'm a home builder throughout the state of Florida, and my passion is architecture. The design of this stadium represents an architectural marvel with its incredibly long cantilevered spans. It also sits on one of the most amazing pieces of real estate in South Florida. To acquire a parcel like the Marine Stadium and construct a new facility would be astronomical in price, but we have one sitting here that has been unused for almost 33 years. This is an amazing opportunity to transform a dead asset into a high-impact location from a visual, cultural, and revenue perspective. Resurrecting the stadium is not only possible, but achievable within a reasonable time frame and for a budget that pales in comparison to what the cost would be if we had to start from scratch with land acquisition, zoning, financing, and construction. This is a unique opportunity to build on the vibrant and rich culture we have in Miami. We are now a global destination, and having a venue that would rival Red Rocks, Jones Beach, or Hollywood Bowl would cement Miami's place as a mecca for entertainment and world-class experiences in a natural setting. The resolution before you would appoint the Oakview Group as the operator of the Marine Stadium once restored. If passed by the Commission, the decision will go to the voters in August 2026 and then return to the Commission. So this is just an initiation, and the people should have a right to choose if the restoration provides the community benefit that all of us supporters believe it does. In closing, the resolution is about opportunity. The opportunity to restore a beloved landmark, strengthen our economy, enhance our community, and let voters decide the future of the Marine Stadium. Let's take this next step together. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Chris McAlilly. Excuse me. I speak to you today on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Miami Rowing Club, which is the next door neighbor of the Miami Marine Stadium. And we are here to endorse the city's efforts to move forward with the restoration of the stadium and a wise use of the stadium, the basin, and that 13 acres of asphalt that is currently called a flex park right behind the stadium, which is immediately adjacent to our rowing club. MRC has been a grateful partner of the City of Miami for more than 40 years. We are located next door to the Marine Stadium, and we have hundreds of athletes, young people, middle and high schoolers, old people like me, rowing, dragon boating, outrigger canoeing, using that gem of a basin. Because it is surrounded by land on three sides, it is the only place in the city of Miami, Biscayne Bay, where athletes using paddles and oars can safely get on the water most days of the year. Any decisions made about the Marine Stadium and the Flex Park directly impact the Miami Rowing Club. So, of course, the devil will be in the details about how this process will move forward. We understand this is a first step to put the question to the voters. And we trust that if the voters support it, that the operator in the city will welcome us as a partner so that the development of this gem can be done in a way that supports the operations of the Miami Rowing Club. So we look forward to a partnership with the city and the hoped-for operator for, we can do a lot better with the state of that 13 acres of asphalt and that decaying stadium. We can do a lot better, and we think we could be a part of that in a really wonderful way. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, Council. My name is David Puyanik. I was born in Miami, grew up on Key Biscayne, and now live in Miami Shores at 9259 North Bayshore Drive. My dad took me to concerts at the Marine Stadium by boat when I was a kid. I remember those experiences fondly, floating around in an inner tube with my brothers listening to music. The Marine Stadium is a world-class and absolutely amazing and unique venue. There are few, if any, waterfront venues like it in the world. In addition to its location, it has amazing architecture that should be preserved. Miami has grown into a world-class city since the Marine Stadium was shut down and deserves such a venue to come back. The Marine Stadium deserves and is ready for a second life. Oakview is a first-class organization that manages many first-class venues in addition to the Miami Beach venue. My understanding is they get how exciting this venue could be. They're as good as any of a fit to manage this venue. I can't wait to go as an adult to see a show at the Marine Stadium from the water while I float around in an inner tube. I can't wait to take my kids to introduce them to this great experience. Please vote in favor of the resolution, and let's take a big step to giving the Marine Stadium the second life it deserves. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor Higgins, Chairwoman King, Commissioners. This is my first appearance with the new commission, and how nice to see such a lovely group of people here, so thank you. Christine Rupp, Executive Director, Dade Heritage Trust, 190 Southeast 12th Terrace. As you can imagine, I'm speaking here on RE4 and RE5 in support of the operator, Oakview Group, for the Miami Marine Stadium. As Miami's historic preservation, another historic preservation group in Miami, we've been working for well over 15 years with some of the individuals and organizations that have spoken here today to see the stadium come back to life. And I want to say from a preservation point of view, choosing an operator is a first step. It's a logical step because you can't just preserve a building for the sake of preserving it. You have to know what the end use is going to be. And it just makes so much sense, and it's a progressive step forward by this commission to select an operator, have the voters select an operator, so we know what the restoration effort will be. So I applaud you for the step that you're taking here because it makes perfect sense. I also want to add, I don't want to be repetitive for all the wonderful speakers that have appeared before you today, but this stadium is recognized locally, nationally, internationally. And prior to my coming to Dade Heritage Trust, I was the director at the Coral Gables Museum. Several years ago, we did a beautiful exhibit showcasing the stadium, and it received such amazing feedback. We were sponsored by the National Trust for Historic Preservation and American Express. So there is no doubt there's going to be corporate interest in this stadium, and it's going to be an amazing economic driver for the city if you look long-term. Think about people coming into town, hotel rooms, restaurants, all of the economic benefits that are going to be driven by a restored stadium. So thank you so much, and we highly endorse these items. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Council. My name is Paula De Carolis, 2144 Southwest 12th Street, Miami, Florida, 33135. I am here in support of FR3. I am Vice Chair at Miami-Dade County Public Schools Citizens Coalition. I'm a voting member at the Parent Budget Advisory Subcommittee and Recording Secretary at FCIAC with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I also am a parent of 2 children attending public education, and an education advisory board would provide significant benefits to our community. It would demonstrate leadership on education, build a coalition among parents, educators, and local small business owners, and create a formal mechanism of early informed community input. Such board could offer well-considered recommendations, improve transparency and public trust, foster collaboration across governmental entities, and strengthen coordination of existing resources. It would also provide greater predictability to the Commission, reduce risk, and ultimately enhance the quality of education, an outcome that directly shapes our future workforce and the long-term vitality of our city. By the way of background, several neighboring municipalities, including the Village of Key Biscayne, Miami Beach, Miami Shores, and Pembroke Pines, to name a few, already have education advisory boards, and these boards serve as valuable assets to the communities. I would like to thank Commissioner Ralph Rosado for sponsoring this item and respectfully ask the Commission to support it. There's approximately 50 Miami-Dade County Public Schools that are located within the city of Miami, and all would benefit from the creation of this ordinance and partnership. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairwoman. James Torres, President of the DNA. I want to briefly address Agenda Item RE7, which could become a creation of the Business Improvement District along Calle Ocho. RE reflects a simple idea. If people are willing to pay for these enhanced services, they should have a say in how those services are addressed and delivered. This is not the reality in downtown Miami. Downtown residents are subject to a mandatory downtown development hostage tax. This is an opt-out. No service agreement and little direction accountability is given. The executive director is constantly writing out checks to podcasters at the rate of $20,000 per item. And despite that ongoing tax burden, downtown continues to struggle with cleanliness, noise, congestion, and public safety. Corporate welfare checks are given almost on a monthly basis. And the ongoing impact of homelessness is also an issue. RE7 points to a better model. So if this board is willing to listen to RE7, it should also listen to its residents in converting the DDA into a business improvement district. It is voluntarily approved by owners which is something that we've never had the opportunity to vote on. So we're kindly asking, if you're going to look at this item as a bid, please also consider the DDA and being converted once again. The city is also looking at a way to entrust its residents. This should be enforced by you as the commission to create this bid. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners, Madam Mayor. My name is Steve Warnick. I'm here on behalf of the Wynwood Community Enhancement Association in support of PZ3, which is the Wynwood Nordsee NRD2 text amendments. I'm really pleased to be here today. The mission of the Wynwood CEA is to provide a unified voice for neighborhood improvements and enhancing the quality of life of current and future residents. I want to thank Chairwoman King for sponsoring this item. It's been a pleasure working with your office over these last several months with the planning department. This is a continued collaboration to preserve and strengthen one of Miami's oldest working and diverse urban neighborhoods. It remains diverse, it remains energetic, and we appreciate your support today. I have a resolution from the board that I'll submit into the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Michael Pizzi, and I represent a 20-year police officer, Lieutenant Wesleyan Lewis Francois. And I want to tell the mayor, the chairwoman, and the commissioners, I thought it was important for me to come here personally and thank the mayor, the chairwoman, and the commissioners for your positive leadership in supporting the settlement agreement on the agenda between Wesleyan Lewis Francois and the city that's recommended by the city attorney's office. So I just wanted to come here myself and speak in support of the settlement agreement that's recommended by the city. And also thank you for your leadership in bringing closure to this item and moving the city in a really wonderful, positive direction. And on behalf of my client and on behalf of myself, I just want to say I think it's wonderful that with the mayor and the commissioners that you're bringing closure to some of these things and you're moving the city in a really positive direction where the focus is on really great things happening and doing really, really good and making changes to make sure that the city moves positively. So I just wanted to say thank you for supporting this. We're happy to close this out. And thank you for your leadership. And it's really great that the city has the leaders you have. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairwoman King, Commissioners, and Madam Mayor. My name is Rich Heisenbottle. I'm president of RJ Heisenbottle Architects, and it is indeed a pleasure to be here on a day that is a day of action, a day when we finally end the logjam that has gone on with Miami Marine Stadium for so many years. I want to talk to you a little bit about Hilario Candela, the architect for Miami Marine Stadium. Born in Cuba, educated at the University of Havana, graduate of Georgia Tech University, Mr. Candela designed the Marine Stadium in 1963. He went on to become president of Spilis Candela and Partners, which at the time was the largest Hispanic-owned architectural firm in the United States. He was part of the restoration team that was headed by my firm when the city engaged us in when did they do it? 2017, it's been that long, right? To develop restoration plans for the stadium. He built the stadium to be a venue for boat racing. The stadium operated from 1963 to 1992 and hosted hundreds of boat races and concerts on this floating stage. And performers like Jimmy Buffett, Arthur Fiedler, the Boston Pops, Benny Goodman, rock stars like Queen and the Beach Boys, all performed on this stage, and it became much more. The stadium is an integral part of Miami's community, hosting other events like political rallies, Easter Sunday services, boxing, wrestling, and the annual Virgin of Charity event. Today, the stadium has a significant place in Miami's culture and history. Today, your vote, after these years of delay, and your commitment by all the parties involved here to finally come up with a preservation solution for this iconic structure will stand as a test of time.
Thank you.
Allow me to
Thank you.
introduce
Thank you.
Hilario Candela Jr., who's behind me.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Hilary Candela. I am recently a proud new resident here of Coconut Grove at 2666 Tagatell Avenue, 33133. I am here to support the revitalization of the Marine Stadium. This is obviously deeply personal for me. I have largely been an observer regarding the restoration effort, much to my chagrin. Along the way, I've seen the effort and the purity of a grassroots organization come together around a singular cause. Unfortunately, I have also seen the pain and suffering of a long and challenging process. My sincere hope is that my father's award-winning design and his signature achievement be restored, and preserved. He gave his life to our community. This facility was designed and built for our community. Of the few historic landmarks we have, none have a unique designation bestowed upon them by the many organizations you have heard from other speakers today. I am humbled by how so many in our community are in love with this facility, many of whom have never witnessed the stadium in operation. Perhaps it is because the stadium literally rises and floats above the water. Where else can you experience the calm of the Marine Basin, the energy of Miami's skyline, the extraordinary architecture, and our vibrant culture all at the same time? Imagine a future watching a concert, a sporting event, a graduation, a ceremony, all while enjoying that same breathtaking view. That was and remains the stadium's purpose. We have the opportunity, respectfully, the obligation, to bring this historic and iconic landmark back to life. Let this be our Eiffel Tower,
Thank you.
our Big Ben, our Empire State Building, to be celebrated locally and from afar.
Thank
And if
you.
I may, dreams like structures can endure when they are built on hope,
Thank you.
purpose, and the public at large.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for your time. My name is Tyler O'Neill, and I'm coming from the United Way, Miami. And I am here in support of FR3 to implement an education advisory board with the City of Miami. I would like to personally thank Commissioner Rafael Rosado for bringing this to the forefront and the potential support of all the commissioners today. There are other municipalities that have successful EABs, examples including the village of Key Biscayne, Miami Beach, Miami Shores, and Pembroke Pines. And with this new iteration of the commission, the timing to form a partnership between institutions can never be better. The benefit of having an EAB would not only benefit our schools and families, but also could be an effort to bolster the connection between private and public sectors. This would improve transparency and public trust in our education systems and educate coordination of existing resources. I respectfully ask for the entire commission to support this item. Thank you again for your consideration.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Beverly Heller. I live at 5916 Lago West Drive, Miami Beach, and I am here as a parent and a grandparent to strongly support Commissioner Rosado's initiative FR3 to create an education advisory board similar to the successful City of Miami Beach Quality Education Committee, which I have sat on and chaired for many years, over 20 years. Not chaired it, but sat on it. The Miami Beach Committee receives recommendations from parents, students, and educators and the community. The members research and determine if the recommendations are worthy, and if so, via contract with various entities, get the necessary support for the needed educators. This is so you know what we do. I know that while your committee's makeup is different from the one that we have and that you envision, just having a group supporting educational matters will make a significant positive difference and give a voice to those who might not now be involved. Some of the initiatives that we have been successful to get passed at Miami Beach has been free early pickup pre-K education for every one of our children on Miami Beach, free. We also have gotten a scoreboard for Miami Beach Senior High School. We have a medical care and in every school on Miami Beach, and we have community intervent together with the museums and the parks and all kinds of things for our kids to visit free. An educational advisory board costs the city nothing, but it is worth everything. I hope you support the Educational Advisory Board for your city, and it will positively affect generations of families to come. And I invite you to visit us on Miami Beach to see how our quality education works and the successes that we have. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. I am Mateo Lopez, 1450 Northeast 2nd Avenue, Miami, and I am the legislative advisor to Miami-Dade County School Board member Joseph S. Geller, who could not join us today. But I am here on behalf of our office to speak in support of Commissioner Ralph Rosado's FR3 item, which establishes the Education Advisory Board. Our office has seen firsthand the kind of good that comes from having a committee centered around education, as you just heard before me. This Education Advisory Board will provide a space for parents to come together and work with our city of Miami and our school district for the sake of all children. I know this works because our office works closely with the city of Miami Beach that has their own version called the Quality of Education Committee, or QEC for short. The QEC has been the birthplace of countless collaborations between our city and our Miami Beach schools. Together, we have solved local concerns efficiently, created opportunities for students to showcase their talents, and made sure that our children receive the best education possible. We urge the Commission to support this item that will strengthen the bond between our families, the city, and the school district. It truly takes a village, and this is an opportunity for everyone to have a seat at the table to uplift our students, schools, and community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there any?
Good morning, Commissioners and Mayor Higgins. My name is Annette Spillan. 788 Northeast, hold it, 23rd Street, Miami, Florida, District 2. And I'm here today not just as a resident, but as a mom. Every day I hold my child's hand as we cross her streets. I don't think about traffic engineering formulas or signal timing plans. I think about whether the car turning right sees us. I think about how wide the road is. I think about how fast the vehicles are moving. And I think about whether we will make it across safely. That feeling, that moment of uncertainty in a crosswalk is something no parent, no grandparent, no older adult, no person using a walker or wheelchair should ever have to experience. We are designing streets that serve vehicles well, but too often they don't serve the people who live there. Speed and aggressive driving turn everyday mistakes into life-altering tragedies. That's why I strongly support Resolution CA1 on speeding enforcement and RE12 establishing a Vision Zero policy. When we improve crossings, we aren't just improving infrastructure, we are restoring dignity and safety to everyday life. As a mom, I want my child to grow up in a community where crossing the street is not a risk calculation. As a neighbor, I want seniors to feel confident walking to the pharmacy or to the park. As a resident, I want Miami-Dade to lead with courage and clarity. Thank you so much for your leadership and for choosing safety.
Thank you. Good morning again.
Good morning again. Commissioner Raquel Regalado, representing District 7. It's always a pleasure to be in the city of Miami. I'm here as your county partner to support the item today for the Marine Stadium and also to provide some clarity as to the restrictions of the site. The Miami Marine Stadium was a piece of land that was deeded to the city of Miami by Miami-Dade County, and it has very specific restrictions and a covenant that rides with the land. In 2008, then Mayor Manny Diaz wanted to demolish the Miami Marine Stadium, and that resulted in a action that started at the county, and my father, then Commissioner Thomas Regalado, later Mayor Thomas Regalado, moved to declare it historic. The preservation of that site has been a priority for the county and for the city for a very long time. The Friends of the Marine Stadium have been working for over a decade, and my father has worked with them, and in the Miami Forever Bond, there was an allocation for the preservation of the Marine Stadium. The reverter language is very clear, and in the past administration, there was a movement here to have residential use at the Marine Stadium. And for those of you who remember, I conducted a meeting with the county on the limitations of the Marine Stadium and the county's intent to move on the reverter should the restrictions of the use be challenged. Currently, I'm in support of Commissioner Pardo's item. We've been working very closely on the Rickenbacker. The last 8 years has been very difficult for the county dealing with the Marine Stadium. We are in favor of one operator. Your predecessors, I worked with them in the issues with the Rickenbacker. What has been happening with the Rickenbacker and the Marine Stadium is similar to Virginia Key. The county will get a request for a permit on a Thursday for an event that's happening on a Saturday, and everyone has to rush to figure out how we're going to deal with the traffic. We already have issues with Crandon, with Bill Baggs, and with the general maintenance of the Rickenbacker on the weekends. So having one operator, one contact, and I want to thank Commissioner Pardo for baking in all the work that we've been doing on the Rickenbacker and the transit plan in terms of moving the vehicles into this RFP. It's really going to make our work with the city of Miami a lot easier. It's also important to focus on the investment to the infrastructure. One of the things that I talked about last time that the Marine Stadium came up is the need for the city to invest in the infrastructure. The lack of infrastructure on that site, same to Virginia Key, creates a lot of chaos for the county in managing the Rickenbacker. One of the examples is you can Uber to this site, but you cannot Uber back because there is not connectivity to Wi-Fi. So we have people wandering around the Rickenbacker, phones in the air, trying to find a signal. I'm currently working with the commissioner on an event plan that will help us with that. And there also are a lot of limitations in terms of water and sewer. When a former commissioner on this dais wanted to put temporary housing there, we had to provide a lot of information that I'm happy to provide to all of you regarding the lack of water and sewer infrastructure and the need to add it there in terms of preservation of the site and the proper use of it. So all that being said, I'm here as your county partner. We're excited to move forward with the restoration of the Marine Stadium. My father was unable to attend because he has another commitment, but he did tell me to remind you all that it is his fourth child and he feels very strongly for it and will be involved in everything Marine Stadium. I finally want to tell you, as a native Miamian, I know that growing up here, we were in a minority. We are no longer a minority in Miami-Dade County. As native Miamians, we're very thoughtful that people come here and after 10 years, we consider them Miamians. But the reality is that for those of us who grew up here, going to the handful of historic sites that we have left, they mean a lot to us. So while I appreciate everyone that mentioned growing up here and Jimmy Buffett and all the things that they saw at the Marine Stadium, those events were great. They're iconic. I attended many there. But for native Miamians, I ask you to consider that while other people return to their homes of origin and they take their children to the places that they went to as children, we only have a handful of places. So I ask you to consider that when you look towards the future of the Marine Stadium. It is iconic. It will be a beautiful venue. It will be the face of the city of Miami for many years to come. But for those of us who are born and raised here and have no place to return to, it is for us not just nostalgic, but very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on behalf of any of the items here on our agenda? Seeing none, public comment period is now closed. Thank you. Gentlemen, may I have a motion to pass the meeting minutes of the following meetings: October 23rd, 2025, November 20th, 2025, and December 11th, 2025.
So moved.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item passes. Gentlemen, are there any items of the consent agenda that you would like to pull for discussion, CA1 or 2?
No.
I'm going to wait till my colleague returns just to make sure. Commissioner Gabella? No, not at all.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Not at all. We passed the meeting minutes. I didn't think you would have an issue with the meeting minutes.
I'm sorry.
We passed the meeting minutes,
Oh, okay.
AM 1, 2, and 3. We're on the consent agenda. Would you like to pull either CA1 or 2 for discussion?
No.
Okay. May I have a motion for
So moved.
CA1 and 2? I have a
Second.
motion. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Gentlemen, of the PH items, are there any items that you would like to pull for discussion?
No.
No.
Okay. May I have a motion for
Motion.
PH1, PH2 as amended, and PH3?
Motion.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Gentlemen, from the resolutions, RE1 being indefinitely deferred, do you have any items that you would like to pull for discussion from the RE items?
RE12.
RE12.
And I imagine a lot of you want to pull RE18.
RE18.
I have none.
RE3.
RE3. Commissioner Escalona?
None.
Okay. So may I have a motion to pass RE2, RE4 as amended, and our clerk will have a statement, RE5 as amended, and our clerk will also have a statement for that one, RE6, 7, 8, 9, 10 as amended, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16 as amended, and 17.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in
Chair,
favor?
and Chair,
Aye.
my apologies briefly before the vote. For RE4, RE4 will be amended pursuant to a substitution memo dated February 11, 2026. RE5 will be amended pursuant to 2 substitution memos, both dated February 9, 2026, and to add the following resolution number in the body of the legislation, R-26-0056. RE10 will be amended pursuant to a substitution memo dated February 9, 2026. And RE16 will be amended pursuant to a substitution memo dated February 10, 2026. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair, could I take a moment of personal privilege? I just want to congratulate my colleague, Commissioner Pardo, on his work on the Marine Stadium item. I think this was very well thought through. The outpouring of support for this has been really impressive. It's a facility I think a lot of us love, and the idea that it will be restored and brought back to life is something I think we should all be very excited about.
Thank
you.
I believe that's why we all sponsored,
Yep.
co-sponsored.
And thank you all for co-sponsoring and supporting this. Thank you. And I really want to thank the administration who worked very, very hard, the mayor, who really lent a lot of help, support, especially in the final hours, to help push all this get through. Thank you all.
And Madam Chair, if I just might say, I want to thank the city attorney for revising the items last night. The reason this was able to pass on consent is because the item was fixed properly back in the offices rather than here on the dais. But Mr. City Attorney, please, on these items where we could potentially be committing over $100 million unintentionally, have another set of eyes, because both of the items, as they were originally drafted, were incorrect. And the ones we passed today, we should be proud of, because we are advancing Miami Marine Stadium in a fiscally responsible way with a great plan. And the two items that were on the agenda that were substituted last night were neither fiscally responsible nor legally correct. So please, next time we do these things, give them a little check over, and then we won't have to work so late at night. Thank you.
Yeah. I also wanted to thank you, George, and the work that your team did. It was really helpful.
Okay. Commissioner Rosado, you pulled RE3.
I do, Madam Chair. I've got a number of concerns about this item. I know it's been deferred several times, and I've received a series of questions from residents, and I wonder if Mr. Attorney could take us through this item. I mean, this is a really large payout.
I will have the Assistant City Attorney that's handling the case. And remember, this is a case in litigation, so we're going to be a little bit guarded in our comments, because if this settlement is not approved, we end up in trial, and we don't want any statements to be deemed policy statements by the City Commission. So please tread carefully.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, could you walk us through the item?
Correct. Okay, this is a settlement for a total sum of $400,000. It's inclusive of all attorney's fees that could be awarded as a result of any sort of liability against the city in this case. Further, it is an agreement to permit to reimburse the plaintiff the vacation and sick time that she utilized in a one-year period that she claims was due to her emotional distress during this time. Those reimbursements, however, are subject to the caps under the collective bargaining agreement for the FOP. In addition, she gets to retire at the rank of major in title, and at that time, subject also to the caps, she can bank out her compensatory, sick, and vacation time at the major rate of pay.
What are the allegations?
The allegations in this case are retaliation under the Whistleblower Act, retaliation under Title VII, which is the Civil Rights Act of 1964, race discrimination under Title VII, as well as sex discrimination under Title VII.
If I may, Commissioner Rosado, and in the interest of time and fairness, I believe we were all briefed on the specifics of this, and I don't think it's fair for us to go through this on the dais. Were you not briefed on this?
I do, but I've received a number of questions about this. This item has
Okay,
been on
so should we
multiple
defer this
agendas.
item so you can further get more clarity on this?
I think this is a really serious matter, and
Yes,
I'd like to
it
request.
absolutely is. It absolutely is, but the questions that you are asking are questions that should be asked during your briefing.
I'd like to request an executive session of the entire commission and defer this item to the next commission meeting so we can make a determination at that point.
I will inform the commission that the court is asking for a status update as of tomorrow. The court has been patient, did grant us additional time for today's deferment. I don't know if the court is going to grant additional time or not, if there is another deferment, even if it's only for a 2-week period, but certainly I can request one.
Well, yes, go ahead.
So, again, I believe, I'm the only attorney sitting up here. I don't know everything. I'm just an attorney. But I believe that if we don't come to a resolution, you would either have to prepare to go to trial, and then at any time during that period, if we agree to a settlement or not, the court will accept that. Is that not how it works? If we don't agree to the settlement today, will the court say move forward with trial?
Yes.
Will you just call the question?
Well, I have a question for Morales, if he would step up to the podium. So my
Hold
understanding.
on, Commissioner Rosado, through the chair.
Yes.
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, everyone. Manny Morales, Chief of Police, 400 Northwest 2nd Avenue. Madam Chair, Madam Mayor, Commissioners.
So my understanding is you actually would like for this to go to court.
That's right, Commissioner. I know that I'm not named specifically as the defendant on the case. The city always takes the burden, but listen, I've been here 32 years with the Miami Police Department and 5 years almost as your chief, and it takes making hard decisions. And this case was certainly one of those, right? But for those 32 years that I've been here, I've always guided myself by the principles that rules matter, that behavior matters, that professional decorum matters. And to have something like this pass and move on and make a settlement sends the entire Miami Police Department a message that those things do not matter as long as you're willing to get an attorney. As you heard him here today this morning, obviously he stands to gain a substantial amount from that settlement, right? But it is about the men and women of the Miami Police Department who come every day and do what's right, that are expected to do what's right. So I would love to see this go to trial.
Thank you. Commissioner Cabela?
Okay, so the problem we're facing here is that I understand what the chief is saying. I respect what you're saying. I do. The problem is, we have a fiduciary duty, in my view. I have one with my taxpayers, my residents. I represent 20% of the city, 1/5 of, the city of Miami. And the problem with this is that this goes to court, and for any reason, Chief, and I'm not doubting you at all, but for any reason, we get into a situation that we lose, this thing is going to turn into $1 million, $1 million plus, okay? And I, for one, want to stop the lawsuits that have been going on in the past and the bleeding of the city coffers, and this is part of it. If today I vote for going forward, it's nothing against you. It's nothing against your department. I understand what you said. It's a business decision at the end of the day. It's a business decision at the end of the day, whether we want to expose ourselves to 1 point something mil, if we should lose this, and should we gamble or not? For me, that's what it is, but I yield to my colleagues, and whatever you guys want to do.
Commissioner Escalona?
I would like to call a question.
So I believe Commissioner Rosado
Yes,
would like to defer it and have an executive session.
I would. If
Do I
nothing,
have a motion?
Yes, I'd like to move to call an executive session, defer this item. I think if nothing has been done wrong, I think taking it to court should be perfectly sufficient.
So I have a motion.
And my apologies, to what date, sir?
What date?
To the next, to the March meeting.
March 12th, understood.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? I see the city attorney wants to weigh in.
I'm not sure we can have an executive session and have a vote March 12th. So I just want to make sure we have sufficient time to have the session and have the vote.
I think we're saying the same thing. That's why I didn't move it to the next meeting, because I'm not sure we'd have
So
enough time.
she's saying that she doesn't think March 12th is enough time.
I've been told March 12th is fine.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Seeing none, motion fails for lack of second.
Call the question like the gentleman
So,
said.
Commissioner Escalona, do I have a motion to approve the settlement?
Second.
I have a motion. Do I have a?
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
To approve or deny? My apologies.
To approve.
To approve. Understood.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No.
No.
Gotcha.
I'm really torn on this, obviously. I'm going to go no.
Motion fails.
Motion fails 2-3.
Thank you.
RE12 was pulled. Commissioner Cabela?
Yeah.
So my apologies, Chair. RE3 is still in play. It's just that the motion.
No, the
No,
commission
We didn't approve
rejected
the
the
settlement.
settlement proposal, so we're going
Oh,
to
okay.
trial.
So it was 3 no's to 2 yes. Oh, my apologies. Thank you for the clarification. My apologies.
Commissioner Cabela?
Okay, so we're here on the, I'm sorry, what is it again?
RE12.
RE12, all right, RE12. So I don't have a problem with this, for the safety reasons, et cetera, et cetera. I do have a problem if this policy is installed, then it's going to slow up the traffic situation, the bad traffic situation that we already have in the city of Miami. That's my concern. Okay, that's my concern. You know, I understand it's a safety thing, but we gotta, you know, be careful here. We don't get into a situation where this is going to create a problem with the already problematic traffic situation that we have here in the city. Just want to put it on the record.
Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
If I might, Mr. Manager, as you go forward with this item, should it be approved, Miami-Dade County was required by the federal government to draft a Vision Zero plan, so that exists. So, you know, Juvenal, you should have an easy time mooching off that data, and I know you contributed to that effort. The federal government has grant money called Safe Streets for All, which looks at high crash intersections to look at how we can stop car crashes. Sometimes it involves pedestrian, but more often than not actually vehicles, by redesigning the physicality of the intersection. So it's not necessarily designed to stop traffic. It's designed to really say, these are the intersections where people are getting killed. Could be as a pedestrian, could be in a car. There are 100 high crash sites in the county. 50 of them are on state roads, so they're out of, you know, local control. But 19 of those in the county plan were in the city of Miami. And then when I chaired the transportation committee at the county, we have received funding to improve 9 of those. Let me see if 7 are funded. 6 of those are with the Safe Streets for All grant, which the federal government is moving to the full funding grant agreement. And then 1 is from FDOT's Highway Safety Improvement Fund. But there's definitely others that are not funded. So I think we should have, it shouldn't be too difficult a task for you to do this because a lot of the data is there. So I think I've asked to co-sponsor this item, but it's a good safety project for drivers and for pedestrians. Thank you. And we have money for half of the ones in the city already ready.
Mr. Manager?
Madam Chair, if I may, the administration would like to request 90 days in lieu of the 30 in the item. So we briefed all the commissioners on that.
Yes, you have, and I was satisfied with the briefing. I just wanted to make light that I just want to make sure that's on the record that we don't go the other way. So I'm satisfied.
Okay, and do we need to make an amendment for the 90 days?
And I accept the amendment. That's very reasonable.
Okay, so may I have a motion to pass RE 12 as amended for 90 days? I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Item passes. And RE 18, Commissioner Gabella?
Yeah, I pulled that. So this is the big one that I've been trying to move since I got here, and it's pretty much going to affect all of us because this is where we hold our motor pool, the trash operation, public works. We have a lot of assets there. But, you know, it was good for a time and era in the city of Miami 20, 30, 40 years ago where the dirt was cheap and we're not in the situation that we are in now. I feel that we're in a situation now that those acres are being very inefficiently, in my view, you know, used, and I think we can do better by developing those acres. You know, we're going to collect property taxes where we were not before, so it's going to be a positive for the city in that way. The people that I have sat down with, and there have been probably 4 or 5 different entities, okay, we've always asked that the motor pool, all of our operations basically have to be taken care of, you know. And then the big one has been the trash situation, you know, the trucks and the nature of that business and you know, because what that's about. But at the end of the day, okay, I want to break the inertia. I want momentum. I want to get this going, you know, and that's what this is about. And all of us are going to benefit because not only I'm negotiating to get a new GSA building that includes a motor pool, that we will have new equipment for our mechanics and, you know, and parking and all these other things. But there's a lot of stuff there's other stuff the benefits that come along with, like affordable housing. You know, on the other side, on the east side, there's the capacity from 1,500 to 2,500, market rate, affordable, and low income. You know, so it's the whole gamut of what we need in the city of Miami workforce. And I think this is going to be a plus for all of us. and I would urge my colleagues to vote with me to get the process running. Thank you.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. City Attorney, would you please read the title of the ordinances in our second readings?
Yes, Madam Chair. Second reading one. Second reading ordinance and ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 55, Section 5510 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida as amended, entitled Subdivision Regulations, Building Permits, Issuance, Restrictions, Exceptions to exempt the construction of a carport, covered entry, driveway, patio, or pool from Chapter 55-10 requirements containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date. SR2, second reading ordinance, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 10, Article 1, Division 2, Section 10-20 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Buildings in General, Building Administration, Fees and Waivers Reserved, to create a pilot program pursuant to Section 2-33C9 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Sustainable Improvements Pilot Program, that incentivizes residential stormproofing and future-proofing home upgrades, including impact-resistant windows, reinforced roofs, flood protection, energy-efficient appliances, low-flow toilets, insulation, permeable pavement, and other sustainable improvements to reduce permit costs, expedited permit review, and public outreach materials to inform residents of the program and eligible improvements, containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. SR3, second reading ordinance, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 10, Article 6, Section 10-101, titled Buildings, Unsafe Structures, and Unsafe Structures Panel, more particularly by amending Section 10-101M, titled Post-Hearing Extension of Time Amnesty Program, to convert the existing commercial property amnesty pilot program to a permanent program containing a severability clause providing for an immediate effective date. That concludes the second reading ordinances.
Gentlemen, would you like to pull any of the second reading items for discussion?
No. Good.
No.
May I have a motion for SR 1,
Motion.
2, and 3? I have a motion. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Items passes unanimously. Mr. City Attorney, would you please read the first reading ordinances title for the record?
Yes, Madam Chair. First reading ordinance 1, FR1, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2-32 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Administration, Mayor, and City Commission, Time and Place of Meeting, to remove provisions specifying the time of hearings for certain ordinances involving zoning map amendments of 10 contiguous acres or more, or changes to permitted, conditional, or prohibited uses within a zoning category, thereby deferring to the requirements of Section 166.041, parentheses 3C2, Florida statutes, providing for severability and providing for an immediate effective date. FR2, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 38, Article 1 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Parks and Recreation General, by creating Section 38-41, titled Naming of Facilities at Elizabeth Varick Park, more specifically, naming the aquatic facility at Elizabeth Varick Park as the Vernica Stirrup Silva Aquatic Facility, containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date. FR3, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2, Article 11, Division 6 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended City Code, titled Administrations, Boards, Committees, Commissions, Reserved, more specifically by amending Section 2-1011 through 2-2018 of the City Code to establish the Education Advisory Board, stating the board's purpose, powers, duties, composition, appointment, qualifications, and requirements for membership, providing for officers, rules of procedure, meetings, quorum, legal and staff support, assignment of personnel, waivers, other necessary provisions, and public notice, containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date. FR4, first reading ordinance, in an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2, Article 2 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended City Code, titled Administration, Mayor, and City Commission by amending Section 2-33 of the Code, titled Order of Business and Rules of Procedure, to amend the time in which an elected official may place an item on the City Commission agenda from noon 7 business days before the City Commission meeting to noon 11 business days before the City Commission meeting, containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date. FR5 has been deferred. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Gentlemen, are there any items on the first reading items that you would like to pull for discussion?
4.
4. FR4. Anything else? Anyone else? Okay, may I have a motion to pass FR1, FR2, FR3?
Move.
I have a
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Discussion for FR4. I believe Commissioner Gabella, you,
Yeah, look, I'm going to be voting no for this because after careful review, I think it's enough time that we have already the 10 days. This going to kind of hamper us. I did say I was going to do it, George. I apologize for that. But on careful review, it's not. I don't think it's to our best interest. Let me put it that way. So I'll just leave it at that. That's my vote.
Question. Right now, the deadline is Tuesday at 5 p.m., right?
Correct.
What if we make it Sunday? I think that's we meet in the middle.
I won't deny any additional time that you're willing to give, so that would be beneficial, certainly.
So-
Friday?
Commissioner Rosado?
I can support the modified suggestion. I actually was going to ask a question about substitution memos. We receive so much information so late in the game. That actually is more concerning to me because sometimes it's substantive information. If it's a Scrivener's error, that's fine. But if we're receiving like revised deal terms and things like that, we need more time to process the information.
I mean, built in the code, if you are willing to wield it, you have the 5-day rule, which says that if you receive something at the last minute and you're uncomfortable, you can invoke the 5-day rule, which says it doesn't get heard this meeting, it moves to the next meeting. But the whole point of this ordinance is to try and make the proposed legislation as good or better than as best as it can be, so we don't have substitution memos. And so that's how we end up, unfortunately, with some of these substitution memos, is that we get stuff at the very last moment.
So, and gentlemen, this is my item, and it is an attempt to make sure that administration has the appropriate time to review our items, and it's not meant to hamper us. I definitely don't want to do that, but I want to give administration a fair opportunity to review items so that we don't have to have as many substitution items, so that we don't have items that have errors in it, as Madam Mayor spoke about today, to give them a fair opportunity, because it is a lot that comes with trying to get our items together, making sure they're reviewed for legal sufficiency. And if they're not reviewed for legal sufficiency, that leaves us at a vulnerable place, right? Not necessarily me, because I'm the only lawyer up here and I kind of review my items for legal sufficiency, but again, I don't practice every area of law that comes before us, so I rely on our city attorneys to be able to guide us through making sure that we have the best items to put forth to serve our community. So that's why
I'm going along with Rolando.
I'm going along with that too.
I am too.
Everybody's going along, which I expected.
Yeah.
I would expect nothing less from my colleagues to have
That's
a friendly
Sunday
amendment.
midnight, right?
Exactly.
Midnight. Okay, just to be clear.
So may I have a motion to pass FR4 as amended?
So moved.
I have a motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We have BC1.
Thank you, Chair. BC1, Bayfront Park Management Trust. Commissioner Rosado will be appointing Jose Joe Gomez, a city resident who works for another municipality. Therefore, pursuant to Section 2-884E of the City Code, he will require a 4/5 employment waiver. And Commissioner Escalona will be reappointing Pat Sanchangelo. My apologies.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Chair. That concludes the boards and committees.
Okay. Mr. City Attorney, would you please read the titles of the planning and zoning items for the record that are required? That would be
Yes, Madam Chair.
PZ2 and PZ3.
PZ1 is a resolution. PZ2, second reading ordinance, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments approving an amendment in a form acceptable to the city attorney to the development agreement between the City of Miami and Miami Freedom Park LLC adopted by the City Commission via ordinance number 14094 and recorded in official records book 33783, page 2301 of the Public Records of Miami-Dade County, Florida, governing the properties generally located at 4000 Northwest 14th Street and 1950 Northwest 37th Avenue to update Section 14 and Exhibit D, as in Delta, of the development regarding public benefits consistent with the related lease documents pursuant to Chapter 163 Florida statutes and authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute in a form acceptable to the city attorney the amendment to the development agreement, a draft of which is attached and incorporated as Exhibit A, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. PZ3, first reading ordinance, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending ordinance number 13114, the zoning ordinance of the City of Miami, Florida, is amended Miami 21 Code, specifically by amending Appendix P, as in Paul, Wynwood Norte Neighborhood Revitalization District 2, NRD2, by amending Appendix P, Section 3.2.1, titled General to Zones, NRD2 Thoroughfares and Corridors, to allow for dominant setback waivers on a Wynwood Norte corridor, by amending Appendix P, Section 3.3, titled General to Zones, Wynwood Norte Public Benefits Program, to adjust bonus height regulations in all T4 and T5 transect zones within Wynwood Norte, by amending Appendix P, Section 5, titled Specific to Zones, to clarify and update bonus height regulations in T5 transect zones, by amending Appendix P, Section 7, titled Sign Regulations, to modify master sign package requirement for structures within multiple commercial or office tenants, by amending Appendix P, Section 9, titled Street Master Plan, to provide additional NRD2 setback requirements along Wynwood Norte thoroughfares, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. That concludes the P and Z items.
Thank you. Gentlemen, are there any items on the P and Z items that you would like to pull for discussion?
Yes. Two. PC2. Yeah, real
PC2?
quick.
Anyone else?
No.
No.
Nope. So may I have a motion to pass PZ 1 and 3?
Madam
So
Chair,
moved.
PZ1 is, it's a, I was going to say it's quasi-judicial, but it's not an appeal, so I take that back, Madam Chair.
Okay. PZ 1 and 3. I have a
And
motion.
second, could I say PZ1, District 3 Commissioner would like to make a Jennings disclosure. They met with the owner.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. PZ 1 and 3, unless you want to say something else, George.
No, Madam Chair.
May I have a motion for PZ 1 and PZ 3?
Move.
I have a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Items passes unanimously. Commissioner Gabella, PZ 2.
Yeah, so,
And I have a Jennings on PZ2.
okay, so real quick, on the issue of Freedom Park, I just want to make sure that everything is as remains, as we spoke of yesterday, and nothing has changed before we go ahead and approve it.
Nothing has changed, Commissioner.
Okay, then I have no other questions.
I would
I'm ready for it.
like to take the opportunity to clarify something about the courts, which came up through our office a few times, the soccer field, the soccer courts.
Yeah.
The original lease in 2022 stated 6. Apparently, there had been some flexibility desired, so that idea that 12 courts aren't happening is not the case. They wanted to make them flex and pop up, so they didn't commit to the exact number. So if you compare what they're doing now to what they did before, it's just a ministerial, it's just a change in the language so that these courts could be closer to the access and residents would be able to get there. So it's all based on resident input. All of this comes from, the residents. I thought that was important to say only because our office got a few inquiries.
Yeah, they were changed from on top of the parking, which is all the way to the west, to make it closer, as Commissioner Pardo correctly said, closer to the people, which is to the east along 37th Avenue.
You both are correct. The soccer fields are to do with the stadium. That is part of their benefits to provide to the community. That has nothing to do with the 50-acre park. That was never part of the deal of the 50-acre park. Now we're getting a better park on the 50 acres with the dog park, playground, pavilion, and other walking paths. The soccer fields have to do with the stadium, and you're right. They're on the east side of the stadium now with better access.
And there's no impact on no net loss with green space?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm going to say I have a Jennings disclosure while
no one has spoken to me on this item, this particular item. I have spoken to them about the overall project. So just to err on the side of caution,
That's what I did.
I have a Jennings disclosure. So may I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion.
Second.
As this is also as amended, and our city clerk has a brief statement.
Thank you very much, Chair. PZ2 will be amended pursuant to a substitution memo dated February 4th, 2026.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes
As amended.
as amended. Okay. The only thing left are the discussion items. Commissioner Escalona is taking a slight break. Would anyone else like to take a break?
Madam Chair, are we doing the attorney-client session after the meeting? Is that the way that?
I would like to take the attorney-client session after our Omni CRA meeting, because that would be the end of commission, and we can go to the attorney-client session and then break for the day versus break for lunch and come back. It's up to you guys.
That's good.
That's fine.
Fine? Fine? Okay. Commissioner Gabella, would you like to start the discussion? Item 3?
Okay, item 3, regarding the police department. So I am of the opinion, Chief, that at some point I asked whether there was a succession plan in place. And I am of the opinion, we know you're leaving in October, okay? And I would like to see, some kind of a search sooner rather than later. I do not want to get to October when we know that you are leaving, and then all of a sudden we have to rush and find the chief. Why? Because if we start the search now, and nobody's asking you to leave, by the way, but if we start the search now, it gives us time to come up with the person that we're all comfortable with. And then if we have a problem down the line with that person, we have time again to correct the situation. The last thing that I want is I don't want us to get into a situation like what happened with Acevedo, okay? And so if we don't talk about this, the conversation must be had regarding this. We need at some point to have a plan of action, and, it can't, it shouldn't be in October when we already know the chief is leaving. It has to happen much before, so we have a smooth transition, and you can also help with the transition, by the way.
Chair.
Mayor.
Mr. Manager?
Yeah, if I may, Commissioner, we already have a timeline as to how we're going to approach a transition in order to ensure the continuity of service to our community. So you have our word that we will have a transition in place. You will know who that is at the beginning of the transition, and there'll be ample time.
When will that take place? Because I have not been privy to that information.
Well, as we discussed when we were briefing, the plan is 3 months from before Chief Morales' retirement.
So 3 months before October.
We will start a transition where Chief Morales will remain and make sure that we have continuity of service all the way through his retirement.
Yeah, thank you.
And Commissioner, if I may, even though what you're talking about is that my defer retirement option ends at October of this year, there is a pathway to retain. This has been the honor of a lifetime to be the chief of Miami, and at some point I would love to transition to other things in my life, enjoy my grandchildren, hopefully future children, with my new wife, and enjoy the retirement of the many years that I've devoted to public service. But there is a vehicle to retain, so there's not a cutoff date when I have to leave. There is Section 40-199 of City Code that allows for police and fire chiefs to remain after the deadline of the drop. Since 1998, 6 police chiefs and fire chiefs have been asked by not only the administration, but also the mayor and the commission to stay. So there is no risk of there being a void here. I'm in no hurry to leave.
Is it your intention to stay after October?
I will be here as long as you all will have me, as long as the citizens of Miami continue. And just to kind of highlight a few things, because get a little emotional when you get to the end. In this tenure that I've had as chief, we have seen homicides dropped by 43% since I took over in 2021. Shootings down 42%. Robberies 40%. Sex offenses 25%. Aggravated assaults 12%. In that time, we have made more arrests. We have had less complaints, less uses of force by officers. We have reduced the time that our officers are taking away from the department by either calling sick or taking time off. So we're incredibly proud of we have built an incredible relationship, not only with our elected body, but more importantly with the community. And we have a very strong understanding and level of cooperation with our union, which is very important. So the stability that we have seen is absolutely jaw-dropping. And like I said, I would stay as long as you guys all have me.
No, I'm not questioning your record at all. Like I said, it's just that, you know, I wanted to know what's what and what's going to happen in the future. You know, I would appreciate, however, you know, in the future, when somebody is going to come, you know, to my area to be, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
To be notified and asked, because I believe 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, that's actually in the books, that somebody, I think it was the late Manolo Reyes, who actually passed that directive. So, but thank you for your response.
Thank you.
Mr. Attorney, I have a couple of questions, actually. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Through the chair, of course.
I think Commissioner Escalona wanted to say something next.
Absolutely.
You're good for now? Okay.
Mr. Weissong, how much have we spent on legal fees related to the ball and chain fiasco to date?
I'd have to get you the exact numbers, but when you're saying the legal fees in defense of the elected officials?
Yes.
And
How many millions are we
this is
talking
like a
about?
spitball. I would say 6 million.
6 million?
4 million was covered by insurance, so the city has paid, I believe, $2 million, más o menos, more or less.
And during that whole fiasco, how central was Morales to the entire thing?
Actually, he was not chief of police at the time. He was an assistant chief, I believe, at the time. But that's a difficult question to ask. And please, I would also mention that a filing was filed today based on comments made by elected officials in this case, trying to impugn those comments as admissions of liability. So I would respectfully urge you not to call it a fiasco, because that's sort of weakening our case.
I would say the public considers it a very public fiasco that we've all read about, and it's costing us a lot of money. And my understanding...
Commissioner Rosado, we do have an attorney-client session for this. I don't think that this is the appropriate forum. And again, political speech, political rhetoric, fiasco, that's opinions. It's not fact. The city attorney just cautioned you and us about, because this is ongoing litigation, we do have an attorney-client session. You can bring these issues up during that session.
And all that information at the conclusion of the litigation will be, it's all court transcribed, so the public will have an opportunity to review all that information as well at the conclusion of the litigation.
Madam Chair, could
I'm not saying that you're wrong. We all have our opinions, and we describe what is going on, but the descriptions and our personal opinions don't necessarily translate into what's happening legally. Like, for example, I was not here during the time, I was not an elected official during this period that you're discussing. And I don't pretend to know all the facts. I rely on the city attorney's office, but I would like to ask you to please take the advice of our city attorney, and let's have that discussion at our attorney-client session.
Could I ask some questions of Morales?
No, not on that subject, because the city attorney already just told you that he was not
No, understood.
involved.
On other matters related to the agenda item at hand.
For the discussion item regarding police, absolutely.
So as I understand it, because I've heard this now from a number of individuals, both within your department, other departments, civilians, et cetera, one of the things you're looking at doing once you're done with your retirement, which could be in October, but I think should probably be much sooner than that, quite frankly, is that you're thinking of campaigning for public office Are you?
Commissioner, I have been approached by members of the community that would love to see me continue my public service after I'm done in uniform, but that is so far off in the future. In this business of public safety, I work one day at a time, sir. I have absolutely no plans right now to pursue that anytime soon.
So my understanding is actually different. I've heard from at least a dozen individuals who have said, unrelated individuals, who have said that you have said that you are going to be running for the District 4 seat, which puts me in a really uncomfortable position because we're paying you essentially $500,000 a year to be campaigning on the job, is what it appears to me. If we see your social media, if we see the fact you're having events in District 1 on the border of District 4 without having consulted with the District 1 commissioner, again, I just hear it so often that it's words coming from your mouth, not from other people's. And so I don't know what kind of trust I can have in you at all for you to continue in this role. So certainly I'm not willing to work with you all the way to October or even much sooner than that, quite frankly. I find it dishonest for you to say that you're being approached when you are telling people out in the community that you are running for this seat. And I welcome that. We live in a democracy.
Absolutely.
But you can't be working for the city and be doing that.
Commissioner, listen,
Chief,
My name was brought up, so at some point I'm going to have to respond.
Chief, Commissioner Rosado, I think your last statement said it best. We live in a democracy, and whether or not the chief is going to run for public office or not, or run for your seat, I don't think that this is the place to question or make a statement on someone's constitutional right to run for office. Commissioner Gabella?
Okay, since my name wasn't brought up, but D1, I represent D1. Let me just be straight since you got into that, Commissioner Rosado. Okay, Chief, I would be comfortable, and I believe when you say that you make a pledge, if you should continue to October, that you're not running while, and I'm not saying you are. I'm listening to the comments.
All right.
Okay, I would, I got to tell my people, if this is the case, whether I have a police chief or I have a police chief / politician. I need to know that in light of the allegement, what he's alleging about you two. Now, let me just make it clear to both of you, okay? My district will not be used, for this kind of thing. If you both are running against each other, that's the case. I'm not gonna fall for it. That's why I called now that you mentioned that, because I didn't want to get into that. I'm not Carollo. I don't like to doing this to you. I'm not that. Okay, that isn't me. Okay, but I must be clear with you people. If this is the case going forward, okay, I expect everybody to do what they're supposed to do, and not go into other people's district, and then you as a council go into my district too, because I said what I think of the message was, and I said, if you guys start doing that, I'm going to start going into your district, okay, and I'm going to start campaigning in your district, so I'm in the middle here, okay, I'm minding my own business here, trying to do my thing, and then all these things start to happen, so I'm in the middle of you two. I want you to understand, okay, and I can't be clear, but there is a directive, okay, by the late Manolo Reyes that says that when you are going to, like for example, what happened the other day about 2 weeks ago, that coffee to meet the chief, and I'm not saying anything, okay, but that happened. I wasn't notified before. I am the District 1 Commissioner. I invite you guys. You guys don't invite me. It's the other way around, and you guys did it the other way around. You put the horse before the cart. I need to be assured, please, sir, that you, if you go on to October, that you are going to be the chief, that you're not going to be the chief / you're running for office for me, and by the way, you have the right to run for office. It's it's everybody's right. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is if funny stuff starts to happen here, and all of a sudden, I find myself in this situation where I got to tell both of you, hey guys, this is not a free for all. You know what I mean? So I'm extremely clear with my things. I don't like to, dance around the issue, whatever. I wasn't going there, but now I'm taking there because I did mention D1, and I want to be clear. So that's it for me. If I have a pledge from you that that's not going to happen, I am satisfied. Okay, in light of the circumstances of what Commissioner Rosado just pointed out.
So I want to say something. He brought up coffee with a cop. Since I've been the District 5 commissioner, the chief has had coffee with a cop. They go to McDonald's on 6th, 2nd, and 7th. The commanders have coffee with a cop. I'm not invited necessarily. I can go if I want. I don't have.
That's not the way it works.
Right? No, I'm just saying that.
No, I got it.
In history, he has had coffee with the chief, coffee with cops, not just the chief. My NROs, our commanders have had outreach in District 5. I don't have the issue that you have with this in between. I'm just saying for the record that has been a practice to talk to the community, kind of like Crime Watch. I saw it as.
No. But you got to tell me if you're going to go talk about Crime Watch in my
So
district. You have to notify me. You should notify me. I'm not painting on the wall. I'm not painting on the wall. I'm a commissioner for District 1. I represent 1/5 of the population here in the city of Miami. With all due respect, I expect you to let me know about it. I would have probably said yeah. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem. I would have probably said yeah. But I felt there was a disrespect, honestly speaking. Now that wasn't going to bring this up. I was not going to bring this up. This is not the way I operate, okay? But since we're on the subject, okay, and by the way, there was a problem that apparently the late Manolo Reyes had to pass a directive, and I wasn't here, and I don't know if you were here or not, that this sort of thing couldn't happen, that if this was going to happen, the district office had to be notified. And look it up, please, because it's there on the directive. So if I have that pledge from you, me personally, I do not have a problem. However, if there's funny business going on, then I am going to have a problem. Because here's the thing, whoever's running for office and you can and you're entitled to, if you think you can, you should, you're entitled to. It's our right. However, there's a problem where if the allegation is that you're going to use your position to do this, then that's a problem for me. That's a problem for me because I need to know again that I have a full-time chief on the job, not thinking of politics, that he is the chief. That's it for me. I end it there. I'm not going to talk about this anymore.
So again, Commissioner Gabella, I just wanted to point out that this didn't just start happening because the police department, not just the chief, has had coffee with the community in District 5 since I've been elected. That's all I was saying. You have a right as a commissioner if you want to be informed. They don't have to ask me to engage with the community is all I was saying. I wasn't saying that, I'm not getting in the middle of that ping pong ball. Commissioner Escalona?
Yes, I do have to agree with Gabella, Madam Chair, on this. If something is happening in my district, whether it's coffee with a cop, etc., I would like to be notified for sure. That's one thing. Another thing is that if we are going to move forward with a new chief, I would like to have a proper process, and I would like to just start looking for somebody. I don't know if it's going to stay in October or no, but I would like to have a proper transition, and that requires time. And we're 6 months away from October, so if we are moving forward, I would like to start the process sooner rather than later.
Administration had said they were going to start the process.
Oh, they did?
Yes, they were going to start the process 3 months out of from October.
Do we believe that 3 months? No.
So for point of clarification, what we said is the transition would start 3 days, 3 months out. Sorry. So the process is before the transition. So
because it takes time to look for somebody, and then that person needs to understand how City of Miami operates.
right, and I don't know if Madam Mayor wants to add, but upon being appointed to this position, that's a conversation that was had very early on when we knew Chief's pending retirement.
Just to build on that, Madam Chair, if I may, when Mr. Reyes and I were talking about whether he would be interested in being city manager, I discussed with him one of the most important decisions that we would be making as a city government is the transition to a new chief, because our existing chief was in the drop and was scheduled to retire. And so we have been talking about that even before he was appointed city manager, and that transition will happen and it will be smooth.
Thank you. Commissioner Rosado?
Yes. Mr. Manager, I find it completely unacceptable that we would have any employees campaigning officially or unofficially while on the job. I would like to respectfully request that you appoint an interim chief and begin the search for a permanent chief immediately.
Is that a motion?
Yes, it is.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Motion fails for lack of second.
Just to clarify, the decision of the chief of police is the city manager's decision. I know there's oftentimes confusion between who can appoint, like for example, I am your appointee. The chief of police, however, is purely the designation of the city manager, and there's provisions in relation to retention. Like you don't have the. You can, I guess, do a no confidence, but your action, as you did, should be directed to the administration to take action.
But
ultimately,
here's the
action
thing.
lies with
Here's
the
the
city
thing. What I do agree with my colleagues is what I do agree. Okay, maybe it doesn't have to be like happen today, but I do agree that this transition of looking for another chief has to start sooner rather than later.
I would say now.
That I agree with.
Understood.
In October, this is not acceptable to me in October, unless that the chief, signs a piece of paper that says, hey, I'm not running, I'm not going to run in the future. You know what I mean? But again, I cannot have a chief representing my people, whether he's either a chief or a politician or both things. I can't risk it because you lead a serious business, and you've done a good job, by the way. And me personally, I'm not out here. You've been very cordial with me, and every time you've met with me, you've been very cordial, and I thank you for that. Okay, so this is not anything personal. At least for me, toward you, I'm not looking to hurt you in in your pension or anything like that. But I also have a duty to the people that elected me, as do you, that I have to know if this allegation is made that this is not the case. You know what I mean? Because we need a police chief like you've done, like the good work that you've done in the past. That's what we want. If that's not the case, I would agree that we either way. I agree that this transition needs to start happening now. Because so we have time, like my Commissioner Escalona says.
Madam Chair. So first and foremost, I want to just, for clarity purposes, Coffee with the Chief is a function that happens in this county pretty much every week by one of the 34 police departments in this county. It is not a political event. Just want to make that clear for the record so that other chiefs perhaps are not negatively impacted. With that said, something as important as the choice of a police chief, something as important as honoring over 25 years of service to this community in a police department, in the role of chief. All of you have now said that you have an expectation for me to find a credible, valuable candidate. The message can't be, though, to those candidates that based on hearsay, you would be removed in the city of Miami. That is not the way you should operate in public safety, or for any of my directors, for that matter. Hearsay should not result in the termination of over a 30-year career in public service. So I want to say to all of my directors that if someone feels that our chief violated policy, I expect a formal complaint that we could investigate accordingly. And if policy violations were made, I will be the first one that will come before you and replace the chief. However, there will be a proper investigation conducted, and we will take proper action when, in fact, we find that those allegations are sustained against the chief. Simple hearsay hurts our recruitment process as a city because there is not a well-qualified chief that will raise their hand to volunteer, especially even internally from the department, to volunteer to take that role when simply we can have somebody say that somebody told me that the chief is going to run. So I have an expectation that none of my directors nor my chief campaign on duty. If there is an iota of evidence that either of my directors or my chief is campaigning on duty, you have my word that they will be terminated accordingly.
I need to respond to that. Hang on a minute. I need to respond. Number one, we're not the county. Number one, we're not the county. We're the city of Miami. That's number one. Number two, In actual fact, in the 2 years that I've been there, and now you guys are looking for my mouth because I was going to shut up and leave it at that, but since we're going on, let's go on. Number two, for 2 years, okay, nobody has ever said to me from the department, and I'm sorry, but this is the truth, hey, I'm going to have coffee and thing. This is the first time that's happened. I'm not stupid here, okay? I'm not stupid here. So let's get that, and I'm not making allegations, by the way. I'm not making allegations, but I'm not going to have me, Comisionado Miguel Ángel Gaviela, I'm not going to have either you're a chief or I can't have both. Okay, because this is serious business that they do. Okay, this is nothing toward, toward him. I have nothing ill to say of the chief. He's always been cordial with me. However, on the professional side, now I wear the hat as commissioner. I have to ask the question. I have to ask the question. Okay, so let me state it on the record. For 2 years that I've been there, the police department have never said to me, "Hey, we're going to do this and that." Number two, the late Commissioner Manolo Reyes on this dais passed legislation that couldn't happen, that you must, contact the district office, okay, before that was going to happen, And if anybody wants to look up that legislation, let's look up for that legislation. I end up there again.
Commissioner Gavela, he is right. I have the resolution here.
So there's a reason why. There's a reason why that was done.
And we
So,
just lost it.
it
You
was-
guys, Commissioner Escalona, when you want to address the and administration, please say, Madam Chair. Through the chair, Commissioner,
I'm sorry,
through the chair.
chair.
Just
Yes.
so, because we're getting a little excited, our Caribbean is coming out. Caribbean is coming out of us. So I just want to kind of get the temperature down a little bit. We can say what we need to say, but we don't have to get excited too much. I know it's in our
Madam Chair,
nature.
may I?
Please.
So I agree with Gavela. There was a resolution on 12/12/2019 by Commissioner Joe Arroyo, resolution R190517, that pretty much is addressing what Gavela is saying. You cannot have any events, nor him, nor anybody else, without notifying the commissioner first. This is a resolution right here. So they have to let us know. That's just my point.
Through the chair.
Point taken.
And
Mr. Manager.
And as an administration, our expectation is that all of our chiefs and our directors follow that resolution.
Point taken. Anyone else? No? Okay. Discussion item is over. Let's get to discussion item.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Discussion item 1.
Thank you,
Elected
Chair.
officials and members of boards. City Clerk.
Again, thank you, Chair. DI1 is a discussion regarding the annual review of the terms of elected officials as members of various trusts, authorities, boards, committees, and agencies pursuant to City of Miami Code Section 2-35. Our Assistant City Clerk is handing out a one-page document that basically lists the chairperson designations, the vice chairperson designations, and the outside agencies. And essentially, you could maybe, if you want, you can go by category if you would like to just maybe make one motion. If you're looking at maintaining the status quo for the chairperson category, you can do so. You can go one at a time. It's the will of the body.
Okay, let's go through. Let's go through the first set, appointed as chair. Are there any amendments that you would like to make to the first group?
I'm fine as is.
Okay, so may I have a motion to continue appointed as chair Commissioner Christine King, Midtown CRA, Commissioner Miguel Gabella, Bayfront Park Management Trust, Commissioner Ralph Rosado, Downtown Development Authority, Commissioner Damian Pardo, Omni CRA, and Commissioner King, Southeast Overtown Park West CRA.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Appointed as vice chair. The Midtown CRA vice chair is vacant. Would anyone like to be appointed as the Midtown CRA vice chair?
I appoint Rolando because I think Rolando should be
Okay.
a member of one of.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
There's a vacancy for the Omni CRA vice chair. I would like to be the vice chair
Thank
because
you.
we work close together.
I think you'd be
And
perfect
it's-
for it.
Okay.
I look
Can I
forward
have a
to it.
motion?
Motion.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And there's a vacancy for a vice chair for the Southeast Overtown Park West CRA, and I think Commissioner Pardo makes sense
Yes,
for that.
I would like, very much so.
So I'd like to appoint Commissioner Pardo. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Appointed as a member, Commissioner Miguel Angel Gabella for the Miami River Commission. I would like to appoint, well, I'm the chair right now, so I can't do the appointment, but I support Commissioner Gabella remaining the Miami River Commission member as long as he wants to continue to do it.
So moved.
I wanna yield that to Commissioner Escalona so he can have something,
Okay.
Okay.
because he has part of the river also.
Oh, great. Okay. So all three of us do. May I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Do we want to, I'd like to remain on the GMCVB. Is that okay with you guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. May I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Commissioner Ralph Rosado, Florida League of Cities. Want to keep that? Commissioner Rosado, do you want to keep
Yes.
that? Okay. May I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, Commissioner Gabella, would you like to remain?
Yeah, I committed already to them.
So for the Miami-Dade County League of Cities, Commissioner Gabella was elevated by the Miami-Dade County League of Cities to their executive board. He's now the treasurer of the Miami-Dade County League of Cities, which now allows the city to appoint to its seat on the Miami-Dade County League of Cities. So you may appoint another commissioner other than Commissioner
Because you're an
Gabella.
executive now, eh? Congratulations.
Madam Chair?
Yes?
I was just going to say, I've been attending the Miami-Dade League of Cities, so I think there was some confusion when that was appointed last year, and I think the resolution wound up just reflecting Florida League, but in reality, I attend the Miami-Dade League. So it's one of the ones where two of us are able to participate. Commissioner Gabella is now in line for the presidency, so I just become the city's voting member
For
the
you're
Miami-Dade
on the
League.
Florida League of Cities.
Right, but it was actually it was supposed to be, and I don't think anybody caught it. It was supposed to be an appointment to the Miami-Dade League as the voting member, because Commissioner Gabella is on the executive board. And once somebody does that, the city seat opens up.
So, okay, Commissioner Rosado, for selfish reasons, I might want to venture off into the Miami-Dade League of Cities, if that's okay with you guys.
Yes.
Yes? May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Yeah. Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And that concludes our boards and committees.
Yes, ma'am.
Righty. And that shall conclude the city of, no,
Well,
it does
no,
not,
we have,
because we have, I forgot, the attorney-client session.
Could I read the one
Please.
for the following meeting?
Yes, please.
Which will satisfy Commissioner Rosado. All right, Madam Chairwoman and members of the Commission, pursuant to the provisions of Section 286.011, parentheses 8 Florida statutes, I am requesting that at the City Commission meeting of February 26, 2026, an attorney-client session closed to the public be held for purposes of discussing the pending litigation in the matter of William O. Fuller, Martin Pinilla II, the Barlington Group LLC, Calle Ocho Marketplace LLC, Yo Amos Calle Siete LLC, Little Havana Arts Building LLC, Little Havana Arts Building 2 LLC, Tower Hotel LLC, Brickell Station LLC, Piedra Villas LLC, Futurama LLC, El Shopping LLC, Beatstick LLC, Viernes Culturales, Cultural Fridays Inc., Little Havana Bungalows LLC, and LHAB Trust LLC versus City of Miami et al. Case number 23 CV 24251 FAM. Pending in the United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, to which the city is presently a party. The subject of the meeting will be confined to settlement negotiations or strategy sessions related to litigation expenditures. This private meeting will begin at approximately 10 a.m. or as soon thereafter as the Commissioner's schedules permit and conclude approximately 1 hour later. The session will be attended by the members of the City Commission, which include Chairwoman Christine King, Commissioners Miguel Angel Gabella, Damian Pardo, Rolando Escalona, and Ralph Rafael Rosado. City Manager James Reyes, City Attorney George K. Weissong III, Deputy City Attorney Kevin Jones, Assistant Attorney Supervisor Eric Eves, and outside counsel Raquel A. Rodriguez, Esquire, Angel Cortinez, Esquire, and Jonathan Casco, Esquire. A certified court reporter will be present to ensure that the session is fully transcribed, and the transcript will be made public upon the conclusion of the litigation. At the conclusion of the attorney-client session, the regular commission meeting will be reopened, and the person chairing the commission meeting will announce the termination of the attorney-client session. And you wanted me to wait till after the Omni to read the commencement of the SHADE meeting for
Yes.
today.
At
All right.
this time, the City of Miami Commission meeting for February 12, 2026 is now in recess. We shall go into the Omni CRA meeting, and after the Omni CRA meeting, we will reconvene and go to our attorney-client SHADE meeting. The city clerk will flip the tape for our next meeting.
Thank you. I'm calling to order the February 12th, 2026 Omni CRA meeting. We're beginning the meeting, so is there a motion to approve the minutes for the December 11th, 2025 Omni CRA meeting?
Motion.
Second? Second. All those in favor?
All right.
Madam Assistant City Attorney, please briefly read agenda items CRA Resolution 1 through 6.
Good morning, Board. Dominique Gibbs-Story on behalf of the City Attorney's Office, serving as General Counsel for the CRA. Item 1 is a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Omni CRA by a 4/5 affirmative vote, authorizing the allocation of grant funds in an amount not to exceed $1,750,000 to Rogers Jones for the rehabilitation of a mixed-income affordable housing project located at 1445 Northwest First Court, Miami, Florida. Further authorizing the Executive Director to negotiate and execute a forgivable loan agreement and supporting documents, all being subject to rents being restricted for 25 years and being recorded in the public records of Miami-Dade County. Item 2 is a resolution by 4/5 authorizing the allocation of grant funds in an amount not to exceed $935,000 to Rogers Jones for the rehabilitation of a mixed-income affordable housing project located at 1502 Northwest First Court, further authorizing the Executive Director to negotiate and execute a forgivable loan agreement and supporting documents, all being subject to rents being restricted for 25 years and being recorded in the public records of Miami-Dade County. I would like to note that items 1 and 2 are being amended to reflect that the Executive Director does have the authority to negotiate and execute all documents. Item 3 is a resolution by 4/5 authorizing an additional allocation of grant funds in an amount not to exceed $2 million for the mixed-use affordable housing project located at 2003 North Miami Avenue to Cush Properties, LLC, extending the period of affordability to 50 years, commencing at the issuance of the temporary certificate of occupancy or certificate of occupancy, whichever is earlier, and amending the mix to 10 units, and authorizing the Executive Director to negotiate and execute an amendment to the grant agreement and all supporting documents. Item 4 is a resolution of the Omni CRA accepting and adopting the CRA's amended general operating budget to reflect that the Performing Arts Center construction bond debt services payment are specifically identified as a separate line item in the budget. Item 5 is a resolution of the CRA by 4/5 allocating funds in an amount not to exceed $741,905 to Chapman Partnership to manage the CRA's Purple Shirts program for a period of 1 year. And item 6 is a resolution by 4/5 authorizing the retroactivity approval of Achievement Consulting Group to provide financial, accounting, budgetary, and development-related advisory services to the CRA for a term of 1 year beginning January 1st, 2026, and then December 31st, 2026, for an amount not to exceed $200,000, and authorizing the executive director to negotiate and execute a professional service agreement for said services.
Thank you, Madam Assistant City Attorney. The public comment period is now open for all resolutions on today's agenda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rogers Jones, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity to speak. I've been a property owner for the last 30 years in the Overtown area, and when I first started being a landlord, rent was about $180 to $220 for one-bedroom apartments, and now they have 10 times that. And I have a couple of tenants that's been in my property for 25 years, and they really can't afford really to stay there. They have Social Security that they receive, and some of them have just regular jobs, you know, and I've been doing the best that I can to try to keep it affordable for the tenants in Overtown. And I just hope that you all consider giving me an opportunity to be able to continue to help those. It's an easy way out, but I chose not to take the easy way out. And I want to thank the Commissioner Pardo, the Chair Lady Krista King, and everyone. I also want to thank the Executive Director of the CRA, Jermaine, and even Trina, and maybe some other people I can't remember at the time, but thank you all for considering an opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments on today's agenda? Okay. Seeing no further public comment, is there any discussion among the board members for resolutions 1 through 6? All right. Resolutions 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 are 4/5. So can I have a motion for adoption?
Motion.
Move.
Second.
Motion made by Chair Christine King. Second. Go ahead.
And Chair, just briefly, so the motion is for all items 1 through 6 with item number 1 and number 2 as amended, just for the record.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So we have the mover is Chairwoman King, and I believe the second was Commissioner Escalona or Commissioner Cabello, whoever you got. It's all good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. And that's it. It passes. Thank you very much. And it adjourns today's meeting. Thank you.
As soon as the city clerk flips the tape, we will reconvene the City of Miami Commission meeting for February 12, 2026. At this time, the City of Miami Commission meeting for February 12, 2026 shall reconvene. Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On January 22nd, 2026, under the provisions of Section 286.011, parentheses 8 Florida statutes, I requested that this City Commission meet in private to discuss pending litigation in the case of Joe Carollo versus the City of Miami, case number 2006-014-464, CA01, pending in the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit and in for Miami-Dade County, Florida, to which the City is presently a party. The City Commission approved my request and will now, at approximately 11:15 a.m., commence a private attorney-client session under the parameters of 286.011 parentheses 8 Florida statutes. The subject of the meeting will be confined to settlement negotiations or strategy sessions related to litigation expenditures. This private meeting will conclude approximately 1 hour later. The session will be attended by the members of the City Commission, which include Chairwoman Christine King, Commissioners Miguel Angel Gabella, Damian Pardo, Rolando Escalona, and Ralph Rafael Rosado, City Manager James Reyes, and outside counsel Fabian A. Ruiz. A certified court reporter will be present to ensure that the session is fully transcribed, and the transcript will be made public upon the conclusion of the above-cited ongoing litigation. At the conclusion of the attorney-client session, the regular commission meeting will be reopened, and the person chairing the commission meeting will announce the termination of the attorney-client session. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, the City of Miami Commission meeting for February 12, 2026 is now in recess. We will resume as soon as the attorney-client session is over. back to the City of Miami Commission meeting for February 12, 2026. We are now in session. Mr. City Attorney, do you have a statement to make?
Yes, Madam Chair. The attorney-client session in relation to Joe Carollo versus City of Miami has concluded, and we're returning back to the main City Commission meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And at this time, the City of Miami Commission meeting is now finished, closed, over for the February 12, 2026 meeting. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's.